Well, hello, everyone. It's Thursday night, and I'm so happy to have Dr. Michael Gross here with me. Go ahead, and we're going to have Michael's words of wisdom, but go ahead and say hi, Michael.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm really excited what we're going to share tonight, and that's the 2024 predictions. And before we get started, I hope you will tell your friends, and we'll be open to any kind of question you may have. So thank you. All right, T, turn it over to you. And
Here we go. Okay. First, I'd like to go ahead and let you know that Michael's contact information and all the other things that he does are also going to be put into the comments on Facebook, and they'll also be up on his YouTube channel. Okay. So feel free to come back and watch the recordings. Invite your friends in case they miss it now. It's okay. We go live every Thursday night at 7 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time, and we're thrilled to have more and more people coming. Okay, this is exciting to find out what Michael's predictions are for 2024. So for now, what I'm going to do quickly is I'll introduce you to Michael, and here we go. Okay, Michael, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we appreciate everybody's time. Okay, Dr. Michael Gross is a professional keynote speaker, energy transformational coach, and he helps you achieve an unlimited life. He's an entrepreneur, author of the Spiritual Primer, applying God's 12 transformational laws to reawaken your soul by reconnecting to God, the true source, to experience your true source's love, joy, happiness. His book was on Amazon, but currently the only way to get it right now, because he's sold out over there, is to connect with him personally. When we'll put that in contact, okay? But I'm amazed because he's now into his second edition book, which has even more golden nuggets than in the first. So for over 30 years, Dr. Michael Gross has been a spiritual teacher, a multidimensional healer, an energy transformational coach, and an energy multidimensional healer. He works with your soul, oversoul, light body, energetic body, cellular body, sub and unconscious mind, life force energy, body frequencies, body timing, vibrations, emotional and mental bodies, and so much more. Ooh, there's a mouthful, huh?
Sure is. Wow.
He also works with individuals while retrieving fragmented parts of your soul. Trust me, um, that's an amazing process that he has, because I was so fragmented when I met him. Okay, here we go. He also works in addition. Oh, wait, my bad. He's also a past life regressionist. Regressionist? Is that right? Regressionist?
I couldn't hear you. Your uh, transmission was getting a little garbled. Your internet.
That's my mouth working weird. A past life regressionist.
Right. Past life
Okay.
regressionist.
Okay, man, do I have to practice this or what? Um, as an intuitive, he helps you understand the future as well as experiences that have occurred in the past that are currently affecting you. He has workshops that help you reconnect to God, the true source, like cellular release, manifestation protocols, energy, multidimensional healing, enlightenment, and many others. The list goes on with his accolades and all the experiences that he's got. And I'm looking at the clock, and I want to keep it kind of brief. I hate to cut you off, Michael, but I want to get to the message that you have that everybody's waiting for. Okay, but really, really quick. He's an international intuitive consultant for corporations traveling over half the world, and his clients are not only in the US, Australia, New Zealand, South America, Asia, and other countries. So he's been on many international radio shows in the past, and I'm thrilled to pieces that Dr. Michael Gross has finally completed the formation of his 501c3 nonprofit corporation called the International Institute of Self-Empowerment. And at the end of this, Michael, why don't you tell them a little bit more about your nonprofit as well, okay?
Sure.
If we have
All
time.
right. Yep. Well, why don't you continue, and then we'll get going. Then I'll tell everybody afterwards.
Okay. Um, okay. Like I said, Michael has a lot of accolades. He's had a lot of things. He's holds a doctorate in the alternative healing psychology. He's a certified professional hypnotherapist. He's a timeline therapist, Reiki master, Master of Science in Human Services and Gerontology. He has a Bachelor of Science in Human Services and Gerontology. He's even a non-denominational minister for those of you who would like his services in that aspect. So he's also Washington State Supreme Court certified professional guardian graduate and guardian ad litem. Big mouthful for an amazing man who has encapsulated so many different facets of our lives. So I'm going to turn the floor over to you, Michael, because we have some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guests. And if you have questions for Michael, please put them in the comments and we will make sure we ask Michael, okay?
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. 2024, what an exciting period for us. I would say to all of you, as I would say, put on your seatbelts and get ready because it's going to be an exciting year. And my attitude is always to be forewarned and forearmed and kind of know what to expect so I can prepare myself. So giving the overview, this is the year of karma. The year of karma. This is really a gift for all of us, the year of karma. Because in the year of karma, undealt situations or lessons we chose to bring in this lifetime to empower us is going to come up most specifically this year. So I'd like to share a little thoughts about that, then I'll continue. And if we look at karma is nothing but an experience. That's all it is. It's very empowering and it's very powerful. When these thoughts come up, and I will tell you some thoughts have come up for me when I was in high school or even before high school, grade school. I went, wow, where are these thoughts coming from? Then I realized they're unresolved issues. And when these unresolved issues come up, don't run away from it, because if you do, it'll chase you and catch up with you and give you an opportunity to clear. And if that doesn't work or you avoid it, it's going to keep chasing you. Therefore, the best thing to do is say, okay, what am I to learn from this? And keep asking that question. And once you get to the heart of it, you'll know, because the button will be pushed, you'll get a little angry, your blood pressure will pick up, you get a little shaky. And then when you hit that button, keep asking, what am I to learn from this? And really, it boils down to self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem, although it's unique for each one of us individually. Then once you feel the energy and understand what you were to learn from it, then you ask the true source to bless and release it, just these words. And it's done. It's over with. Unless you want to regurgitate it and bring it back over and over again. But it's over and done with. And then another one will happen. But here's the benefit of it. Number one, it's empowering. Number two, it's getting you out of your prison. Number three, it's realigning yourself with a vibration of love. Number four, it's keeping away those things that are preventing you from having a happy, enjoying life. And the last thing is stopping you from doing your mission and goals. So very, very important to do this. Besides, you can avoid it. You can run, but you can't hide. Remember that expression. And exactly that's what's going to be occurring. So look at this as empowering, healing, and you won't have to reincarnate and learn it all over again. And that is very important. Please consider that. That's the first thing. The next thing that is going to be happening is, our world is divided and everybody's opinionated, whether it's politically, mentally, emotionally, whatever is going on. And it's going to really increase. It's going to get more intense, more stressful, more anxiety ridden. And that is because the human population is kind of lost. We lost our value system. We lost our direction in life. We're not using critical thinking. We're just listening to what somebody says, and that's it. And I have a lot of friends that go, I fact check this and I fact check that, and this is a lie, and so on and so forth. Have you ever thought that the people who do the fact checking, maybe they're lying or they're stretching a point, or maybe they're slanting the truth, just a little bit swaying it? What's important for you is critical thinking. And you can also, yes, you can fact check if you want or research it. But remember, when you do this, remember where the information is coming from. This is also an opportunity for us to listen to our soul, true soul inner guidance, true source inner guidance. Well, really, what's that? It's the truth. And if it feels right, then it's right. If it feels your ego, boy, you're out there somewhere in left field. And again, so important that you use true inner source guidance and true soul guidance. And how do you do that? Very simple. You ask for a sign that you can't misunderstand. Is this really true? And we're going to be presented with so many things. With artificial intelligence, they're talking about 300 million jobs over the next 5 to 7 years lost. That's huge. It's incredibly huge. And with AI, you don't know whether it's true or not. One of my favorite actors, Morgan Freeman, and I was watching a YouTube on him, and I thought, well, it sounds like him, a little different, but I mean, the words of wisdom are really great. And all of a sudden, the screen moved, and there was a man who was doing artificial intelligence, posing as Morgan Freeman, lips were moving and everything. And he was showing how we can be easily lied to or taken advantage of. So it's true that what's going on, yes, there'll be some good things about artificial intelligence, but there are also some things where we can be easily misled. And remember, AI is looking at the internet and seeing where all this information comes from. So if all of us got together and said oranges are pink, 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 and then you went into AI and talked about oranges, it would tell you they were pink. That's how we can be easily swayed, or we can easily be fooled. So that's one very important point we have to look at. The next thing we need to look at is there's going to be lots of earth changes. And it's going to last for several years, but I'm just addressing 2024. Earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, tsunami, flooding, droughts, all kinds of things are going to be happening. And why is this happening? Well, our scientists will say there's sunspots, this is happening, that's happening. The truth of the matter is, all of us, whether you believe it or not, you have to stop and think. Everything is a living, breathing entity. Everything has a frequency. Everything has a vibration. And Mother Earth, Lady Gaia, whatever you wish to call her, she will respond to how we feel. And that's so, so very important. I remember that when I moved out to the Seattle area where I'm living, was back in 1989. And there was a Whitewater debacle where the savings and loans, they had given out money and then they were going broke and people were losing their houses and so on. They had one of the worst winters in years ever because of the mass consciousness. Our thoughts affect everything, not only you and I, but the animal, mineral, vegetable kingdom and Mother Earth. So why is it so chaotic? Because we are chaotic. We have a symbiotic relationship with everything that exists. Symbiotic is Mother Earth affects us, we affect Mother Earth, the animal, mineral, vegetable kingdom. And we see beautiful stories about how lions, befriend humans and all these stories that go on. So there's an intelligence. And if you look at it, everything has an intelligence and responds to the intelligence. Anger, frustration, joy, happiness, being lost, being frustrated, depression, anxiety. And the example I always use is you go to a party, you're happy and everybody's depressed, you get depressed. You go to a party and you don't want to be there and you're angry and depressed and everybody's happy, you get happy. Well, think how this affects everything. The nature spirits. We are so complex. This earth is so complex. We have a beautiful relationship and we're busy mucking it up. MUCKING, mucking it up, in case you misunderstood that. That's an old newspaper term going way back in the 1900s. But that's what we're doing. I know TU wants to say something, so go ahead, TU.
Thank you, Michael. I know that in the last recent few days, we've had several earthquakes coming up through California and over in Japan, and there's some that are showing up in the Midwest, even more in the interior of the country. Now, is this all part of exactly what you're telling us? Our energies are so messed up that because every time I turn on the computer, I don't want to really watch. I don't want to read the headlines anymore because there's so much going on.
You're absolutely right. In fact, I think they said one county in New York State had a small 1.34 or 1.7, something like that earthquake. One was up in New Hampshire, Maine, areas where you wouldn't expect it. But that's only the beginning. But you and I have the ability to change that and to find more balance and joy in our life. And I'm going to adjust that thinking in future podcasts. But I want you to know that you affect everyone as much as I affect. We all do. And we're being coerced to wake up and say, hey, what's really going on? Where are our priorities? And our priorities are one another on this earth. Our priorities to find peace and love and joy and happiness. We see riots going on. We see people protesting. They don't even know what they're protesting about. And we see all the things that are happening in media. And there are truth and untruth, and it's just a mess. So this is part of our lesson where we have to change our thinking and create a more loving and joyous earth. Now, I talked about another situation that's going to be coming up. Another situation that's been coming up is that we have to find harmony and balance in our lives. And everybody is looking around for a solution. And what are they doing for the solution? Well, what are we doing for a solution? Alcohol and drugs, gummy bears, whatever, CBDs, whatever it's called. You know, if you're taking CBD oils or whatever for medical purposes, go for it. It helps you. But if you're using it to run away from life, which is what some people are using the drugs for, and some souls are drinking and they're running away from life because they can't deal with it. But you know something, I liken this to if there's something chaotic going on in your life, because we are going to face many personal issues that we have to heal and release. And you know, it's like getting a sliver, and you know a sliver really hurts. And you look at the sliver and you go, oh, I've got to take a needle or a lancet. Oh, it's going to hurt like heck. So you put up with the pain and it gets more intense and more pain and more pain. Finally, you can't take it anymore. And you go to the doctor or someone. Remember, my mother used to take a needle, you know, and move the skin aside after she put it under the gas heater and pull out the sliver. Oh, it feels so good. Well, that's the example I use. Why wait till it reaches critical mass? Why not take a look and ask yourself, what am I to learn from it? How can I heal from it? And why am I being misled? You know, in the news, used to say, and I believe they say it now, if it bleeds, it leads. So how much do you see in the news something joyous, something happy, something beautiful? Not very much today. Very little. Everyone has an agenda. You know what my agenda is? For you to find love and joy in your life and reconnect with the true source so you can do your missions and goals, your spiritual missions and goals. That's what I'm all about, to help you heal and release all these blocks. What is happening to our world right now? So we're going to see more and more protests, more and more anger. And of course, the United States, we have elections coming up, and I'm sure other countries they are, and we're becoming more divided. And I will say to all of you, if you're watching in a foreign country or watching this here, I encourage all of those that I work with is to meditate and ask for true inner source guidance. Who's the best person to vote for? Not whether they're Democrat or Republican or Libertarian or whatever. Who is the best person that will help this country or any country you're living in that you're watching this find harmony and balance? But we're going to find some food shortages because of the weather and because of storms. And of course, we're seeing spiraling expenses, things going up, spiraling cost of food and everything that's going on. I will say in some areas, some of the costs are not as bad as others. But we're creating a Ponzi scheme. And the Ponzi scheme is We're all looking for more money, more this, more that. And whatever you do, there's a payoff. If you eat too much food, you gain weight, right? Or you maybe get diabetic or have a heart condition, high cholesterol. And then we turn around and what are we doing? We're working on the process of, I want more money, I want more money, I want more money. Go for it. But there's a price you pay because everything becomes more expensive. And then if you look at that, as it becomes more expensive, government loves it. Sales tax, you pay more sales tax. Here in Washington, we're a little over, well, in the county I live in, I should say, we're a little over 10%. So 10% of a dollar is 10 cents. But if it goes up to $2, it's 20 cents, and so on and so forth. It doesn't sound like much, but on bigger ticket items, it is. And so we're all paying more. What is it really that we need and desire in life? Why do we just look around and we become so greedy and self-centered? We forget all that. That you and I, listening to this, have a relationship. We're all brothers and sisters to each other. No, we're not biological brothers and sisters. We all come from the same essence, the same source, and that is the true source. That's where our soul comes from. Yes, I have a cloak that makes me look like a male, or I look like I'm, European, or maybe if you look like you're Asian or Native American or whatever, makes no difference. That cloak is immaterial. What's really is about our heart and what we're all about. Basically, when you incarnate here and you go through the birth canal, you are feeling lots of love and joy from your guides and angels and guardian angels. That's what you're doing. That's what you're feeling. And then along the way, through religiosity or family, friends, relatives, you're taught fear, anxiety, and insecurities. And you're taught to be jealous and angry and upset. Wow, what a great world we live in. It's so incredible. We've forgotten. We've forgotten that we're created in love, by love, from love, and with love. And that's so important. Let us continue. Besides the earth changes that I talked about, and besides critical thinking and politics that are going to be thrown at us, also the opinions of others. It's important that we listen to the opinions of others, but we can agree to disagree. So when I was growing up, and sometimes we'd talk about politics, and one person liked that party, I like this party, and we go back and forth, and then we go, okay, let's agree to disagree. Let's go out and have a beer. And we're friends. We've become so divided now. Also, there's a strong possibility of another pandemic coming up. Like, oh my gosh, another pandemic. Yep. But I don't believe it as be severe as it was before. Most importantly, what you think you create, what you create, you experience. And that's one of my favorite quotes from the true source. If we're living in doubt and fear or poverty or anxiety or hate or insecurity, you're going to create that in your life. You're not really taught that. But truly, you've heard others say something similar. What comes around goes around, whatever it may be. Or as I say, there's a payoff. And we are being asked at a soul level, with all these changes that are occurring, to wake up our slumber and to say, what's important to you? Really, what's important? And the most important thing is having joy and happiness and love in your life. Now, this may sound airy-fairy, but think about it. If you have love and joy and happiness in your life, that's what you constantly, constantly focus your intention upon. What'll happen? Everything in your life that creates love and joy and happiness, family, friends, health, prosperity, abundance, everything. I look around at some of my friends and constituents, and they're always buying something. And I feel good. I got this, I got that. And 6 or 8 weeks later, they need another fix of another joy, another joy, another joy. When it comes from within. That's why this is all happening. We're asked by the vibrations and energies on this planet, by the true source, to take a look at your life and see what's so important. Many years ago, I remember, can't forget, I was 7 or 8 years old. Dr. Kunkel, what a name, can't forget that name. And doctors those days came to your house. And I remember it was kind of cold, and I probably had, I don't know, mumps, measles, strep throat, I don't know what I had. And he said to my mother's kind of cold. And she said, yeah, my husband's away on a business trip. And he went into the cellar, we had coal, opened up the furnace and shoved in a lot of coal, shoveled it so we would be warm. That little act of love, holy cow, we don't do it anymore. We all got blinders on. We're only looking, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? That's all the people looking at it. You know what's in it for you? Chaos, anxiety, frustration, or joy or happiness. Make that decision. And that decision has to come from within you, because that's what we're facing in this lifetime. We're being forced to look at our life to maintain a different life. Because as I say to everyone, you are the solution. You make a difference. You are the power. When you go, I'm only one person. That's fantastic. It starts with one, then it goes to two, then it goes to three. And it begins to expand bigger and bigger and bigger. Every change in every country started with a few people. And if we look at the United States, we had the Revolutionary War, and we wanted to break away from England, from King George and the taxes. There we go, taxation without representation. And what is happening? Started with a handful of men and women, and it expanded. We became the great country. And all the South American countries, even European countries, it all started with a few and it changed. So are you powerless? Heck no. You have more power than you know. And it's most important for you to remember. I think it was Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and he talked about fear. Think about fear. Fear is nothing but false evidence appearing real. Think about that. And think about one other thing before we end our conversation. And that is, as I often talk about, failure, there's no such thing as failure. You learn what worked and didn't work. And that's what we're learning now. Well, I will be talking more about the changes and things that are be occurring. And although I've only mentioned a few, they're so powerful, so all-encompassing. Because remember the sliver, if you don't take care of it now, you don't heal it now, it gets worse and it gets infected. And we have the opportunity, those of you that are listening to me, meditate, ask for true inner source guidance. How can I make a difference? And you will get your answer. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us, and we'll be on next Thursday. But I also like to share a few things with all of you. And what I want to share with you is that every Tuesday, Pacific Daylight Time, from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., is called Soul Awakening. And that's so important. And I invite all of you. Ask any question about spirituality. Hopefully I have an answer. If I can't, I'll tell you. And then I deliver a 10-minute message. And I have 312 or 14 of them. But it's so important for you to do that. So I invite all of you to be my guest. And what's the cost? Just your time. What's the cost? You're going to learn something that will empower you. What's the cost? Joy and happiness and knowledge that you can bring through your life to bring happiness into your life. And it's on freeconferencecall.com. And that telephone number is?
That number is 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
Access code is 125-446 #. One more time, please.
202-926-1059. And the code, Michael?
125-446 #. Using the same codes and telephone numbers, the second Saturday of every month at 9:55 a.m. Pacific time to 11:01, we have what is known as Mass Consciousness Healing. You join us around 9:55, we chat, we joke around a little bit, and then we go into another mode. we actually become a conduit for the true source's unconditional love. And we bring it through our bodies, through our heart, and touch the whole planet. Everyone, no matter who or what you are, it makes no difference because we're all souls. And that goes, as I said, to 11:01, about 3 or 4 minutes before it ends. I come back on and I talk for a moment and play a little music. But if you tune in late and you don't hear any sound, we are now in silence, bringing through the energy of love on this planet. Because you know what? Nothing negative can live in the energy of love. So I would encourage you to do that. And to contact it is same as the Tuesday evening. And would you give that number again?
Absolutely. It's 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125446 #. And all those messages that I deliver on Tuesday night and these podcasts, you can go to YouTube. Dr. Michael B. Gross. Go to YouTube and you can see the podcast over again and also these messages. And there's a beautiful picture by award-winning photographer and Tia Knapp, you all know her, and there's a quote and there's an audio message. So you can listen to it on YouTube. Or while you're driving your car and stuck in traffic, you can go to this following number, play it on your phone or on your radio through their phone, your whatever device you're using, and it's going to bring joy and peace. And to access that, you dial
434-300-4170 with the access code, Michael?
125446 #. One more time.
434-300-4170 and the code, Michael?
125446 #. And stuck in traffic, and it's going to ask you what number starts at 3 to about 312. Well, what one should I listen to? This is where you got to take a moment, take a deep breath, and let your true source inner guidance, your soul guide you. Just pick a number 112. And then people go, boy, it's just what I needed to hear. That's what's so important. So all that is done intentionally. So I encourage you, all of you, to do that. And just remember that the whole world is up to us to make that decision. And I'd like to bring up one other point, and that is our books. Healing the Holes in Your Soul by Tia Knapp. It's a great story about survival, a story about overcoming all obstacles in her life. It's a must read. And we present our books because we're not in the book business, but we're in the business of healing you. And we don't look at it as a business, even though I use that word. It's a service. That's really what we are, in service to you, to help you find healing and joy and happiness in your life. This is a must read.
But I highly recommend that you start with this book, The Spiritual Primer, 2nd edition, written by the wonderful Dr. Michael Gross, who has so many powerful messages for us. Start here, because if it wasn't for this book here and the gentleman sitting virtually next to me, I wouldn't have written the book that he's holding. So I'm truly blessed and honored that he's in my life and will be the rest of my life, because he's enriched my life in so many ways. And Michael, just really quick, for the people who are listening, do you offer any kind of a complimentary meeting or anything? Could you talk about that really quick before we have to go?
Thank you. Yes. For all of you that haven't spoken with me, or I haven't had the opportunity to meet you, I offer a complimentary 20-minute, half an hour session, answering your questions and helping you. Sometimes it runs a little longer, a little shorter, but whatever it is, I'm available. I'm in service to help you find harmony and balance and peace in your life. Take me up on it. And I believe that it will help you to find your way in this life. So thank you, everyone. I want to thank you for everything that you've done. And just remember this year, more and more I will be discussing with you in future podcasts. But the most important thing is that you are in control of your life because you are unlimited. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Thank
We
you,
love
everyone.
you. Take care.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.